Hey, good. Hi. Hello. Welcome. So time has started. So are you ready? Hey, thanks for coming. We know it's last session before the closure. So thanks for bearing with us and having the energy. We'll try to repay that back to you by having a fun story for you guys. So first of all, hi, I'm Alex. My friend William. We started this journey like 9 months ago because they're our dear partner. And I work for Microsoft, and we did experimentation with a motion called Build With Our Partner. So they are in the identity world, and they are doing very cool stuff. But we found a space where we can flavor that coolness together, and we are here to share the story with you guys. So if you're ready, we are ready to start. In today's world, what really is happening to us all, I believe, it's the starting point, whatever we do, either in our private life as a consumer or as a customer or in the enterprise, it starts with identity. Can we agree on that? Do you agree? Are you there? Okay. The second thing, what I like to emphasize, even when we talk about the services that we provide or Daemon, whatever works, it works in a context of identity. And definitely that's the first door that whatever we do, it's either locked, protected, or good guarded or badly guarded. So we need to take care of that. And speaking of the cloud and hybrid world that we live in, sometimes we do rush there, and we've seen many times some very good and cool implementation, but also we've seen many times some not so cool implementation. So we want to focus our story around few elements, and it's not just about the tools, it's about understanding how identity actually is very heavily mapped to the business frameworks within the company, and that it needs to have the stitching and matching to identities that actually starts in some of the HR systems where we are employed, or some agreements that we do with our partners that we interact and share some information in that data. And now, as you see this, when we zoom out, it's everywhere. It's either our mail, it's either our VPN, identity is everywhere. And if we zoom out a little bit even more, and go to talk about the enterprises and not just us as individuals, it then becomes even more important because we will exchange and we are doing interactions with some of the partners, customers, and clients. By the way, how many of you are already using Azure Active Directory? Okay, a third. The rest of guys, are you in the just full on-premises world? Any other guys that are in some hybrid maybe mode? Okay, cool. Well then, for all of us, what's in common, we do need to take care of identities, and usually what we believe that, and at least I will take the blame on myself, I was thinking when I was a younger admin and starting my career that my Active Directory is alpha and omega of everything. It's a single point of truth. Everything starts and ends with this. And me, with the power of being a domain admin or a forest admin, I was the king. Well, guess what? It isn't. Then you start to interact and see that actually all of this comes from different sources, and we are just representing that in the digital world. And it needs to match. And then if we even go a little bit beyond what we usually, and I wish to share this as a Microsoft employee, we often start to talk to you, our customers or partners, from the things that we assume that you did your data cleansing of identities, that you already extended yourself either hybrid or, luckily for you and us, if you're a young company, started in the cloud, and then we can talk about cool and sexy, peachy stuff that can come out of it, like, you know, conditional access, multi-factor authentication. But if you do not start as it should, it's going to create friction for you, and then we will have calls. Somebody's phone is going to ring. I don't know if you had a lot of rings and buzzes, but yeah, we do have them. Our partners have them. We get them. So what we can do about it? Well, we can a little bit address the problem. And usually it starts because we start to address this problem by going quickly to a cloud. And most of us, who is here, let's say, ops dev? Just one operations guy? Other? Are you a developers? Okay. Even interesting more to speak about. We want a solution, and especially I was doing DevOps for 3+ years before focusing back on security. We want as soon as possible to get the result, fail fast or succeed fast, so we have this continuous improvement and feedback back, right? So what we tend to do, we start the project, and by coincidence, we believe that we have all the things in place. We go into the cloud, and some challenges occur. So what's the message at this point? And William will help us out understand. We start from a middle, and we need to understand that tool cannot solve still some of the human elements and stuff that we need to do in order to leverage and grasp the full power of that. So yes, Azure Active Directory Connect covers a lot of stuff. Some of the stuff, it has limits, but again, it's a tool. And speaking of that, we came up so many times on some of these problems, and we want to address them and how it can be made easy or easier for us with some new stuff that's been built. And William is going to demonstrate how they grasped as our partner and build on top of that. So anybody relates to some of these 3 challenges? Okay, one. Do I need to translate what's the Gigo effect? Okay, let's then jump to the next slide. And William actually asked me, so I put the Wikipedia. Yeah, it's an actual term. It's not just FIFO. It's just garbage in, garbage out. So if we have a garbage data in our directory, and what we stumble upon many times as the longer lifespan of the company or enterprise is, we tend to keep the garbage, digital garbage everywhere. Take a look at our pictures, take a look at our history. Well, you know, ntds.git, it's also a repository, and our local Active Directory do contain garbage. And as long as we have it, if we don't maintain it, it just stays there. And I don't know about your experience, but whatever you do with the local Active Directory, it tends sometimes to cry in event log and put a lot of red access, but it still replicates. Users tend to log in, and it's fine. But once you go into the cloud where you need to follow certain rules and certain expectations, things start to get red. And the example here is for our colleague from Netherlands. Jorge described what happened. Everything was peachy, and they tried to go, and then they ended up that there is an object or multiple objects having the attribute that needed to be unique. And again, what is the root cause of this? Garbage in, garbage out. The second one that I also like, and again, I understand, we tend to wish to go as fast as possible to deploy, and then we assume that some of the topologies that we have on premises can natively just be pushed into the cloud. Like, for example, we had mergers and acquisitions. We bought a few companies, there are multiple forests, and you imagine one of these examples that it's not going to work. You start, and you know what's the best thing? If it breaks immediately, and you know why? You are not ending up in the unsupported scenario, A, and B, it's easier to help you if you are in the end, the starting point, and not went too deep into the cold water. So this is one of the things. So please, 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 if you're going there, and what I notice is a half of us or more not going there or to be go there, please check it out. What are the supported topologies, or just write to us. Let's have a discussion. Let's meet up somewhere. And the third one, I love this the most, and it's ancient problem. I don't know from your culture, but from my culture where I come, there is a saying, too many nannies, bad children. Well, I strongly believe that it is the same in our IT environments. Too many admins, something bad will happen. What's the biggest challenge? How do we surface and that we get aware that something happened? Well, we will address scenario where you can do, just imagine, for example, there is a workflow when somebody needs to add somebody in sensitive group. And of course, as admins, you can avoid that workflow. What if you have a platform that will tell you, this action just occurred by this account? Then we have a info, and maybe we needed to cut the corner because of the situation, or maybe we didn't. Maybe we are having the attack that we are not aware of, and so back and so forth. So this is really, really, really crucial stuff. And without any further ado, we now want to get our hands dirty, just like unbutton and start talking to that. So now it's time that William come and give me a hand. You know what, guys, super cool happened meanwhile before we started to present. Well, we didn't get before hour and a half approval to use the name of one customer that we were been working.
Yeah.
And we invented, okay, we will use fake company called Acme and insert all of the real problems from some projects that's been delivered in this Acme company. And we just go get hour ago. You can use our logo. So that was a cool thing. And let's jump to that. William, before we go there, can you please share a little bit? Who are you? Why are we together?
My name is William Cha. I'm a architect at Trusted ID. I've been working there for about 10 years, and before that I was a developer, mostly on Microsoft Basic. So from assembly to .NET, everything I've covered before. But now I'm an architect, and we are Trusted ID are actually targeting identity and access management solutions for several customers of ours. And we have done a lot of projects doing identity and access management. And we have learned a lot since then. Because the first thing we attack this problem is, okay, we just use a tool, we grab the tools that are available, put it there, turn it on, and see what happens. And the quickest feedback we got from that is that our customers there weren't, they were building their processes around the tools. But it's the other way around. You have your processes, you have your joiner, your mover, your leaver process, and we need to use the right tooling to mold around it. And that's our specialty at Trusted ID.
Yeah. And is it now okay for you to just share, because Fagron, thanks Fagron, by the way, gave us permission to talk about the project. Can you explain the architecture and what was the big game changer for you and how you deliver your identity solution?
Okay. Most of the projects we did before, they were all based on on-premise systems because the companies, they existed a long time and they have a lot of things on-premise, did nothing with the cloud yet, and you see that they are now moving towards the cloud. And so here you see a line, and below the line is the on-premise situation. But this company here, Fagron, is going for more SaaS services, SaaS solutions, and want to utilize that. And what you see here is what you always have in existing companies. They have an on-premise footprint. You see the Active Directory where they register the users. Users can use those accounts to log in, use the on-premise apps. But now there's a bigger playing field over there. You have something in the cloud. This company has its HR system just using from the cloud. And their ITSM system, Topdesk, is also from the cloud. And our solution, it's an orchestration solution for identity and access management. We place them in the former projects always on-premise, but now it's running as an app service within the Azure cloud. And that's
Can
really
I stop
cool.
you?
Yeah,
I think
sure.
we are all curious. Okay, well, what about privacy, security, my data regarding identity is very touchy.
It is very touchy, and
How do you handle that?
we struggle a little bit thinking about how we do multi-tenancy. And Alex joined us, I think, a year ago, and he was challenging us about this issue. But it's not an issue because our portal is just running. You see there, it's called Ibis. It's running in Azure as an app service. It runs in your Azure tenant. The storage it uses is an Azure SQL database, also running in your tenant. So the data is yours. We cannot reach it unless you give us a specific permission to do that. We can provide certain facilities to help you within your identity lifecycle management stuff, but the data is yours, so there's no question about safety of the data or other things.
And one maybe interesting thing, because you said you are a maintainer. Do I have a locking, and can I kick you out?
You can kick me out directly just by a few clicks. You can just revoke my permissions of the Ibis app, and there will be no lines to any of your tenant stuff. So that's very, very easy just to grant access, but also revoke access to that to this app.
The reason why we are sharing this, because we will unveil very soon what is in the core of this, and we want to send you guys the message. You can do that by yourself. If you understand the topic, if you go and consume a little bit of resources online, you can do this and create your own app Or if you don't want to, well, you can find some partners or somebody who is already doing that and connect for these guys. But we want to inspire you that this is now not a rocket science. And speaking of, challenges and then demands, what actually, before we start to develop that, what is the aims, games, pros, cons, what's the companies asking from you guys?
The main purpose that companies are calling us is they want to get their data correctly, because they want to automate the joiner, mover, leaver process. But in order to do that, you have to have a good data quality of knowing who is working for you. Are those only internal people, or do you also hire people from outside? Who are they? Do we have a source for that? Can we correlate those people to, for example, the accounts you have here in your Active Directory? And what you see a lot in the picture before, you have the HR system we get information from. For example, we have also an extra source where we have the external people data in. And then we look at what you have on-premise, for example, the accounts. We have encountered a lot of times that you see, for example, in your HR system, you have 10,000 people working for you, but there are 20 or maybe 30,000 accounts within your Active Directory. We can do the correlation. We can find the matching users with the accounts in the Active Directory. But what about those 10,000 or 20,000 that are not correlated? Those aren't service accounts.
Maybe they are so progressive, so they have 10K of service accounts managing all sorts of services. Who knows? Perhaps. But what really I think is the crucial to share and understand, how do you do that? Because you are now stepping into the managed project offerings, running the project, managed services. What is the combination? Because you have end-to-end to a spectrum, and why is things happening?
Yesterday I was at a potential customer, and they asked us, can you just install a tool and get things up and running? I said, no, we are not going to install a tool and get things up and running. The first thing is you have to check your data. Make sure your data is correct before you go further. And that was a big question over there. I'll get my data ready, because I was just wanting to do a demo with installing a tool and get things up running. But we approach this always in 3 phases. We get the data from your HR sources. We get the data from your directories. We do the correlation. First, you have to get that data right. You have to reach a certain amount of percentage before we go further. And if we have reached that percentage, then we're going to look at your joiner, mover, leaver processes. We will use what is possible, what is available on tooling. For example, your AD Connect tool that connects your local on-premise AD with Azure AD. But what we have done is, when you do have a good coverage of matching, we can tag those accounts. So you can filter only those accounts that you are going to provision to Azure. You don't want to push the 30,000 accounts into Azure, because
why not?
It's good for you.
It's opportunity for Office 365 licensing, right? Now, but what's really interesting then to jump, it's what made the huge change, and what's the actually message to you guys, and including us, what made a huge difference in your development life cycle? And by being developer, can you unlock?
I can unlock a bit. Like I said before, we've done quite a few implementations for identity and access management. And every time we did an implementation, we have our own portal, and we tailored that portal for that customer. So there was a lot of custom code specific for that customer. And we built a bunch of connectors, and everything was a bit of tailored, but we wanted to have a more generic solution that can work for every customer. So what we've done is we have our generic portal. We put in a workflow engine of ourselves and make that workflow engine work for that customer. It's only configuration what you're doing. When you need approval, we do it in the workflow engine. And the thing what we have done with Azure, because we were a bit skeptical about it, there are a lot of features in Azure. You have accounts, groups, licenses, and the whole spectrum is very large. And Alex told us, well, take a look at the Graph API, because that is your entrance to the Azure resources. And the only thing we made additional to the workflow engine is one connector, just calling the API from Graph. And that is really cool. We just looked up, for example, features that are that have come out from the graph documentation. We just copy paste the headers, the bodies, and put it in the configuration of that connector, and everything was alive. So that is really cool.
Yeah, thanks. By the way, guys, how many of you are aware about Graph API and its capabilities? Okay, hopefully after this session you will go and check it out because it's really powerful. And what we heard literally by talking to people, even now downstairs on the stand and making a round loop, hey, but that's just for Office 365. No, it's a universal control plane, whatever you do with the Microsoft Cloud Services. And as we go further and further, it will expand, expand, expand more. So without reinventing the wheel, you will just monitor what we released and start making calls and sending what is the config, and that's it. Let's now position that where is the Graph API. So as you can see, what was the change for the dem and as development and for the end customer to explain was positioning of the Graph API. Can you please share the moment when he's not with us on the stage, but how we actually got to a point, yeah, we want to go with this project? What was the question of their global technical lead for the application and implementation of this? Do you remember?
For this one, using Graph API?
Yes.
He took a look at the Graph Explorer and said it was really easy just to use it. So it was yeah.
But you remember, guys, the winning point was, okay, so how do your app work? Well, then just William said, it's registered as any other app in AAD. You can do right-click, remove, and we can't do anything. Okay, good for me. And literally, discussion went in a different direction. No more, how does it run? What does it run? How do you maintain control? And what was the actors that then we recognized? And guys, now we are going to go into the demo. Where we were going to start and what we're going to drive you through is we recognize the actors, and William is bootstrapping us around that, and we did the data cleansing. And then we're going to go under the hood what Graph API can unlock for you guys. So what were the actors in a typical solution that you do?
HR admins, managers that need to, for example, if Alex is going to be hired by my company, he's from Microsoft.
Okay.
As an external.
You know, this is going to be recorded, so I'll have soon one-on-one having questions what I'm accepting while I'm doing the presentation. Okay.
Well, for example, if you're going to hire Alex for 1 month, and our policy is not to insert externals into our HR system, we need a second source of information where we get the externals. In this example, we are going to use Ibis as the HR portal for external people. I, as a manager or HR assistant, will insert Alex into the portal, and then we will just provision the account to Azure AD. In a normal scenario, where you have on-premise footprint, actually Ibis will provide the data for the on-premise Active Directory. We will tag this account to being safe and being managed, and then using AD Connect, we will provision actually to Azure AD. But
why are you creating user over there in Azure Active Directory?
Because it was that simple, just connecting the Graph API. We had it configured, I think, in less than an hour.
But do you understand, guys? Now it's usual the flow, and we had a joke about it. Is you create it locally, and then it's pushed, or you have it in an Oracle system or SAP HR system. It gets pulled locally in your app, and we're gonna do it other way around. And you know why? Just because we can. Okay, let's go into the demo mode if you agree. So what will be what's our commitment to show them in next 10 minutes?
In the next 10 minutes, I will register Alex as a external employee. We will prove that we can provision the account. Let me switch to this. Does it work?
Maybe you went into the sleep mode?
It's there.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we will provision the account just using Graph API, and we'll let Alex log in, and he will be our HR assistant for the moment. For the
Oh, improvement in my career
very
life.
improvement.
After 17 years, I'm going to become an assistant in HR. Woohoo!
Well, Wilma needs an assistant, so you will accompany her.
Thank you so much. So guys, what you're actually seeing, it's just a representation of an HR portal. Yes, it's a simple web interface, and it needs to be easy. Why? Because we're just gonna create a request and ticket to create a new user account. And I don't know, does this relate to any of your workflows that external source like HR makes the request, the ticket goes to IT department accept the ticket, and do you have that flows in your, oh, good. Do you like doing that? Observing tickets? Or your smile says, I don't have other choice, but I didn't say that. So you're now being happy because it's not you. Okay, cool.
But actually, that is the case at the customer we were doing this project on. They had everything filled on forms, and it went just into a ticketing system, and it went from one person to another, and they just tick the things they have done on that list. So, and that's what they wanted to have automated. All right. So just finish the registration.
So I'm being inserted in the system. Woohoo!
You are being inserted into the system.
Okay. How much further until I become assistant? And
well, we're going to take a look at it.
Okay.
So this is the Graph Explorer. I logged in with my account with access to the tenant. I'm going to look whether the account for Alex is being created.
I believe you need to log in.
I already logged in.
Really?
I did.
Not saying your account.
Oh, it's not showing, but
It's not you. Log in.
okay.
By the way, have you seen the Graph Explorer? Don't tell me it's the first time. Are you killing me? Okay, one hand. Thank you, sir. What's cool about it, you have out-of-the-box Explorer that you can use and do your REST API calls towards Graph. You have a demo account, and William was working to a demo account, or you log in and you can browse your own directory and get the raw data of your directory. So it's a really cool way to start exploring.
As you can see here, Alex has been registered into Azure AD. We created the account for him. And we, of course, can show it in your Azure AD tenant portal, but this is far more quicker to do it. So now let's try to let Alex log on to the system.
Okay. And now we are getting to a point of using the coolness of the other features, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Oh yeah, my first attempt as an HR assistant. Woohoo.
Okay, put in your default password.
Oh, you need to change my
Change your
password.
password, all right.
Oh. And yet another feature. I want to keep permanently my password. Is it possible?
No.
Why? Aha, because you say so. Okay. So do you know that this is the typical one when you go in, it asks, do you allow permissions for your profile to be read? And look, oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh,
no
that means I have a free day.
You don't have a free day.
Oh, why not?
You just been provisioned with an account, but we didn't give you any access to IBIS. So now we have to grant you some access to the portal so you can log on again. So no free day for you, Alex.
So we came to a point that we are what? We provisioned, created account in exist, and it started its existence in AAD and then being right back to Active Directory locally because we can. And what happened? Successful authentication, but authorization,
Of course.
So,
one moment.
So
Demo gods.
Please give me access. I would like to do my work and go home, if possible.
Where are you? Dordevic.
Yeah, sorry for the surname. It's not that easy.
forget to set your organization, your place in our organization. So
My
that's why-
place.
Your
So
place.
I'm getting place. Okay. I like that.
You liked it, okay. So now I'm adding Alex for an EBS admin, and I will request this.
So technically, this would be like a request, whatever you have an HR system, and if it uses the Azure Active Directory groups or whatever, that you will ask, because it's a sensitive position, to put it in a group, and this represents the workflow. It can be any workflow. We just take it for a demo just to have it. So what's happening now? Am I in the group?
Well, I requested the access for Alex, and what the workflow engine does at the back end, it will try to find his account that has been created and put it as a member of the EBS admins group in Azure. So let me look up, for example, the groups I have, and here you see this is the EBS administrators group, and it's really this easy. Just copy the ID in the Graph Explorer, put it at the back, and list the members. And now I can search here. Is there a Dordevic? You know, look, there's a Dordevic over here. So now I will log on with Alex's account again, but first of all, I have to clear some. Where is it? Over here. All right, let's try again.
Hopefully, I don't need to change my password again. It's really not cool to change it.
Not cool. Maybe I should annoy you by doing that.
Okay, that will not be the first time. Okay.
So Alex can access EBS with no access sign, and now you can assist Wilma with the HR stuff.
Okay, can I give you the challenge and one ask? First challenge, can we agree that this is not the best way to treat the application available from internet and externally just username and password? Can we agree that this is not the best way? So what if we spice up a little bit this story that we need to use multi-factor authentication, and then even more to spice it up, what if I can only use it when I'm in the Netherlands because of data sovereignty things?
Yep, we can do that.
But prior to that, can you disclose how actually idadmin stuff, what is the actual call that your app is doing to create the user or user membership? Or
Oh, showing what we have called the
Yes.
the Graph API.
yeah, show
Okay, sure.
show us the dirt. Don't hide it. Show us the dirt.
Okay, here you are at our workflow option.
So this is what, like your middleware central nervous system to connect.
Yeah.
Bless you.
For example, here I have the create user with the Graph API, and we have added a REST activity, and
Can we zoom it?
we can we zoom it?
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit.
Okay, a little bit.
So you said we have developers in the group. I hope this is not too much to ask to insert, right? So, and how did you got to this information? Where did you pick it up?
Well, if we go back to the Graph Explorer, you have the documentation page, and all is listed over here. And we just copy pasted the calls from
So can we navigate like user
create user,
and there is a call example now.
call example.
And look, that's it.
That's it.
We believe it's not that hard. So are you going to wrap it up in a PowerShell and just do a PowerShell call through a PowerShell this, or create a web, whatever? But it's just one call. And you send the data and you get the response in a JSON, and you're sending JSONs.
And actually, it's even more powerful than that. For example, this one, the add member, where we added the permission for Alex to go into EBS and with his EBS admins claim and log on to and then getting his access. Let me show you this one. It's even more simple, but this one is really fun. So
Can you zoom?
I can zoom in. Here I'm doing a post, and I'm just calling an URL in the Graph API and adding Alex as a member for that group. But if you look at where is it? It's over here at the groups. Over here, and then the add member. And this is because we played around with it. And here, there is this post, and you should use this one in the body. And it says you have to use the ID that has been created for Alex. But in our example, it works. We didn't put in the ID, we put in the UPN, and Graph accepted it. So that's really cool.
So
it's undocumented, but it works.
well, let's not go into Azure ARM templates and the schema. There is always something new to discover, right? I hope this is inspiring for you guys to play with it, because it's a complete different way how we do ops work and how we can go into real doing DevOps and being more agile and checking in our code and scripts and do things completely differently from the bottom. And you know, I would say for me, still says why I like Microsoft and Windows environment. I discover by clicking. Yeah, it's easy. I like it. I'm lazy. But when I want to automate and create a power, I start to write scripts. So this is, I don't know, does it grow to you, but this is how I like to discover. I go to Azure portal, click, la la la, it works. Okay, how can I run one command or trigger something and make it happen? Look, this is very easy. One call, you have the JSON body and send it. Done. And if you do a little bit parameterization inside of that, ooh, it's repeatable. You can share it with a friend, even better. So play with it. Okay, now spiciness at the end. Let's now, we are now in the example, okay, we have a rock solid now identity, because we are checking, does this person exist? Should the account be active? Now we have foundation. Let's play with the fun stuff.
Yep.
Do the challenge, man.
Okay, we're going to add some features to it. And here you have conditional access, and we are going to enable MFA, multi-factor authentication, and we are going to check the location of the login. So I'll turn it on.
By the way, how many of you have played with a conditional access in AAD? That's a super now thing to see it, because it's so powerful and so easy to connect and click through. So policies, you see, you have a couple of conditions and then grant or not grant the access. And let's now see what happens on the next login.
Next login, okay.
What will I experience now?
You will have the same login window, so I will enter your login name.
And by the way, usually this is when...
What is this? Try it again.
Usually what we from Microsoft tend to do, we start presentation from this point of time. You have your local directory, you have your cloud directory, everything is done, everything is peachy, and then we are showing you features. And yes, it runs. Sometimes you need to do the hard work prior getting to the features.
Okay, let's do it again.
You know what can be potentially, where is our exit pipe for the internet that we have at this moment? What we configured, if you are not coming, if you turn both policies, if you are not coming from IP addresses of Netherlands, access is denied. That's what. So what is the first time? Look, I need to configure MFA. No app before I put in the telephone. And we believe we don't need to prove you. It's just a few clicks. Put your number. Choose the country, put your number, and William will get the confirmation code. It's very, very simple. But look, when identities are done, all of this richness comes at the top of your finger. It's so easy. It's really easy.
So now waiting for my phone. Let's see.
Web apps.
Okay, got a message from Microsoft, and we are going to enter the code just to enable the MFA. All right, verify. Please wait.
Yay, please wait. Hey, you're killing me. There's so many things. Can I create a new account? I need to work, man. Faster.
Faster, faster. Okay, done.
And look, oh, from now on, whenever you want to use the HR portal, I must have my phone with me to get a challenge code, or I'm not going to do any work. So I'm not. Where do you? Can we turn on the other policy and
policy
let's see
for
where you are
location.
sending me for a vacation.
Let's do that.
By the way, anybody of you are playing with the Tor browser? Do you know what's Tor browser? Well, we will use Tor browser just to emulate the time trying to go from somewhere. And let's see where you're gonna send me for vacation.
It's a surprise. Let's take a look. Starting Tor browser now.
Okay. And well, luckily it would not reroute us to Netherlands. Yeah. Ooh, not a bad location.
That's a
Please,
good location.
can we go immediately?
What is this?
Okay.
Okay, we are going back to this. Oh, let me copy it from the other side. It's easier. So, and now we wait.
Okay, and while we wait, we will see what destination for anonymizing our thing it shows.
And you are now from Germany, not so far away.
Oh, that's a bad vacation. I want it somewhere further.
You have to prove yourself at the company first, man.
Okay, okay, point taken. But okay, in Germany there are good beers, right? And pretzels and some sausages, so not a bad time, right? Okay.
And now you get the cannot access the resource. And these are the information we got from Conditional Access.
How do you like these guys? We really believe they're super powerful. And you know what's super cool? If you take a look and if we change to change back to a slide deck, it's like this.
And
Take, and we go back. All of this other awesomeness that is there, now you can use. Why? You're sure that your identity data is correct, and now you can play with it, and it's easy. And speaking of which, what's really interesting for them to extend now, because they started the journey with the Graph API, is just making a call. So for them to extend their portal and to add a feature, I want from one central administration point, for example, their portal, to start this, it's a one call with data, done. And before we finish, this is some useful links. Please do check it out. And since we have 2 minutes, we would like to ask you one thing. And I think William has something for you guys.
All right. Okay. Well, this meeting was a bit short to show you all the goodies we can do with the Graph API. We can push a lot more. For example, our customer didn't ask us yet about managing the licenses. We can do that also with the Graph API. So if you are interested, we can organize a meeting and have a meetup and see what your challenges are. And we can expose and tell you some of our experiences. So if you're interested, we can just arrange a meetup.
One question. We had a little bit bet. Let's see who's going to win. Either way we win, but okay. How many of you would be keen to join the meeting when we go under the hood and there is no hidden questions or avoidance? Let's take this offline. We either answer or we say we don't know. Just 3? Oh, come on. 4, 5? Okay, we had an idea that if we get around 15 to 20 people, then it's a valuable mass to do that. And so please, if you're keen or you know somebody who's interested, let them spin us an email. And if we have like a group that we can organize, we will do that. And the second thing, I think it's way more cooler than the first one.
Yeah, we're also thinking of, we developed the orchestration solution, and we're thinking about open sourcing some stuff of it. Maybe the synchronization engine connected to IBIS, or maybe the workflow templates, because but I said before, you have to look at the joiner mover leaver process of your specific customer, what they're doing there. And we have created a bunch of workflows. Maybe we can open source that one, so you can use it at your customers. So please, if you are interested in some of these, just ping me, call me, give me an email. you look at it.
And that's it, folks. Thank you.
Yep.
Do we have any questions while we're here? Yeah, please. Conditional access, you mean? Yes. We did one, we just didn't show that he, as an admin, regardless what's happening, is excluded.
Yeah.
So we don't end up in a, we did a deadlock and we cannot access. Of course. You mean CX level. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Okay.
But
You, sir.
yesterday he excluded me, so it worked.
Yes, sir, please.
Can we change the interface of the login page?
Of course.
Yep.
Yes.
Can you make your own login page not in Azure, but on a web app? For reasons, whatever.
Technically, you are redirected always to an Azure. So you can customize the page, but there is also thing that you can develop within the app that I go to an app, but it stops there. So we are talking, do we want to have first authentication and then to continue to an app? Or you want to do, I see the app, but I cannot do anything until I click. And then it redirects. So it's kind of a little bit of a development thing and imagining the use case.
If I used AD in Azure, do I always need an AD on my premise then?
Sorry, I didn't.
Can I create my own network in my company and use only AD Azure? So
Yeah, yeah.
I have to need an own domain controller.
Of course, I believe this is the future, what will happen, because before and until this really starts as a popular, what we will do, we do investment in CapEx, we were buying servers, installing domain controllers, and then going cloud, hybrid, whatever. But now, let me ask you this, just a bunch of us. We're going to form a new company. We're going to be a consulting company. Do we really need servers? Physical one? I see your face. No. Why? And hence, you don't need a directory. We just register a company and open at acme.nl and create an Azure Active Directory without any domain controllers. And yes, you can work because there is AD join, so you can join devices. Then you can use MDM to configure them. We have our central repository for our business authentication, but we can still continue also to use our private one. We operate as a normal company, just without domain controllers. Sure.
That is.
This is why we started the hybrid story and this, because it's easy to speak about the cloud because cloud is made to work with the cloud, right? But when you go hybrid or what you say legacy, then we need to think how it's going to work and plan for the future, not to come to a dead end. Okay? We just did. Yes. This is when we made a joke. Why? Just because we can. This was the point. So usually the workflow you create it in a local and AD sync creates there. That's the usual workflow. Yes, you can go in Azure AD, right click and click new user and it will go back if it's of your company. You can do that. But with the scripting and stuff, with the graph, just imagine use case scenario. There is a SaaS application and your CX level, whatever needs immediately access. The fastest way is just to create it in the cloud. Because if you create it locally, you have AD Connect has a timer, 120 minutes. So you don't need to manually start replication. You just, okay, redirect, don't create locally. Poof, create group membership in the cloud. Done. Done. And you can say, yes, dear CX, whatever, go.
Yep.
We just, how to say, we were solving our own life problems that we saw on projects and wanted to share with you guys. That was the whole point, and not bragging, we can do it. This is the things that we stumble upon, not you guys even more. I'm just there as Santa's little helper, breaking your backlogs and features stuff. But this is all about it, and we need to share because not every case is covered. If you have a story to tell a problem, put it up. 3 heads are smarter than one. Yeah. Yes, AAD supports RSA. I'm not sure which type of RSA servers and equipment, but yes, we integrate with that. So it's just a matter of reading, do we integrate what you have? So we are not forcing it. The also cool stuff that you have is actually, if you don't want to use cloud MFA, you can download bits and install it on premises. But again, that's another service that you need to maintain versus somebody else needs to worry about it. So again, we really understand that, especially if you talk about enterprises, it's not easy just turn the knob on jump. And we sometimes need to play the tactical game of words. We're going to test it, we're going to do it hybrid, we're going to have a full control just to ease down the environment that we work, that everything is going to be okay. I don't know if you encountered it, but that's many times our role. Just to massage the people, hey, it's going to be okay, don't worry, you will not get burned. But on the other hand, when you open up their network traffic and show them how many shadow IT they have, they do, so it's, again, let's help each other. Reach out. We have a really simple policy. There is no stupid question, only stupid answer. So allow us to be good friends or idiots. It will be our blame.
Is it possible if I have a
No worries. Thank you.
in a hybrid situation, so we have our large desktop application. I mean, now moving to build everything in web. The situation we like to do is that we have the same experience from the desktop to the web applications. So we targeted Azure, want to use that, AD in Azure. But is it possible if we do that on the local network, we can connect to our database with Windows authentication instead of the Nix authentication?
There is two things. I don't know if you are aware of this. So there are two things you can use. Speaking about it, there is application proxy as a component of Azure AD that allows you to publish your applications. So never opening any inbound port. It opens through outbound, and then it can either use AAD authentication, of course, when you get in, and then to do impersonation, so your app automatically, you get a single sign-on. You can do that. Depends on only what type of authentication. If it's a legacy app use, do you need to do it natively with AAD, or you need to do our partner called Ping, I believe, for Ping Access. It was a blog recently about them, they do more modification, so the end experience for the user is a single sign-on. It's like what they did with AAD, just extended on top of that. You need to do a little bit of browsing, or smarter way, hit us and we do the heavy work, send you links, and then hopefully many of your challenges are untangled.
It looks good.
Thank you. Hey, shall we wrap this day, go to a closing general session?
Yes.
You have our contacts. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks, man.